So what do you think of the beer hall putsch of 1923?
To be honest, I'm really not familiar.
Go on.
No, that was Hitler's first attempted coup of the government by force.
Okay, I'm genuinely not familiar.
Really?
No.
Well, so Hitler wrote Mein Kampf while he was in prison, right?
Yep.
He was
World
in prison.
War One.
After
No,
World War One.
yeah, after World War One, he was a soldier, a decorated soldier, and then rose to power.
So World War One ended in 2000, or excuse me, Jesus Christ, sorry. World War One ended in 1918. So he wrote Mein Kampf 7 years later.
Okay. But he was still a decorated soldier during...
Yes.
Right?
He had an Iron Cross and everything, I believe.
Okay, yeah. I hate giving Hitler any props, but...
I mean, the dude, you cannot... Leadership-wise, you can't say, oh, he was a bad leader. When you rise to power to that degree, you can't be like fucking...
He was
Eli double tap. You cannot say Adolf Hitler was a bad leader.
I mean, he had bad ideas. He's still...
He was good at gaining power. He was not good with exercising it.
No, I would agree with that.
Terrible
completely.
with power.
Really? That's a pretty hot take.
I know,
there, Buster.
crazy take.
Terrible with power.
But I mean, even his people that like ideologically were consistent with his worldview did not really love his leadership and his decision making, especially toward the end of the war. It was just off the rails.
Well, a lot of people like in the Nazi party, because there's so many like fascinating stories within World War II, and
Valkyrie.
Yeah, Valkyrie. But a lot of like the Nazi higher up leadership didn't actually like believe what he was saying. They just were like along for the ride. Like, oh, this is how. Like, if I grab onto Hitler, I'll
coattails
rise the ranks. Yeah, yeah.
So I think that was what happened to Rommel too, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he? I think Rommel. He was the one in Africa doing the Africa campaign, right?
Yeah, my great uncle actually fought under him in the Africa Corps and was actually captured in El Alamein and brought back to the United States as a POW.
Wow.
Yeah, I think to Texas.
And now we have Brandon Herrera, Mexican.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No, but I think I know we've kind of been going all over the place, but like history is super fascinating. I mean, you guys, you guys don't need me to tell you that. You guys own all these cool firearms and like World War II relics that are real. And
no, but explain like what you're talking about. Like,
the beer hall putsch?
Yeah, dude.
I've never heard.
You
never heard of it?
No, like
I don't
this is
remember
not a
what
bit.
that is.
I dropped out of high school, dog.
Well, this was Hitler's first attempted coup of the government of the Weimar Republic, because back then the Nazis were a smaller group and they would hang out in beer halls, right? And they would get some drinks and then just, those Jews, can you believe them?
It sounded like a lot like our friend group, minus the Jew part.
Yeah. I'm not good at a German accent. Sorry, I just associate racism with the South.
That's the one thing that would get you canceled. Sorry, we're not racist. Like shit.
Well,
it's a joke.
Hey, I'm from Washington. You guys, there's a lot of jokes you can make about me.
Yeah.
So
he started small.
Yeah, no. So
if I'm not mistaken, like this is the Weimar Republic is when like the German economy is in a complete downturn.
Yeah,
the money means
shit. After World War I, they have
in like 4 years. Like,
they're given all these terms that are like the Treaty of Versailles. The League of Nations is like propped up. They make these incredibly unreasonable demands, which like sows the seed of discontent among the German people, which Hitler exploits.
I'm pretty sure even like one of the main French generals during World War I straight up said about the Treaty of Versailles, the only thing this is doing is postponing the war 20 years.
He wasn't wrong.
He was not wrong. He's like, this is completely unreasonable. They will never be able to complete this.
But the beer hall putsch was like one day they attempted a coup of the government. Hitler and a bunch of other Nazis basically tried to invade the government. I can't remember exactly what building, but they tried to take government officials hostage and basically say like, new regime's here, boys. I think 15 Nazis died. They called it the beer hall putsch because they assembled in the beer halls. They left and then,
a bunch of hammered fucking dudes.
Yeah, but they basically tried to get this old decorated World War I general to come in and say like, yes, guys, this government is over. The new one is here. Obviously, the coup failed and, Hitler was put in prison, which is when he wrote Mein Kampf.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah, he wrote Mein Kampf with one of his closest, like most fanatical devotees, you would say, Rudolf Hess, if you guys know about him. No, that guy was a fucking crackpot, even for the Nazis.
Dude, when
While
you're
talking
calling
about-
somebody a crackpot, you're like, fuck.
Okay,
man.
You're like, man, I was listening to this Hitler guy, but Hess, he was a crackpot.
No, the Nazis thought he was a crackpot. So this guy's career highlight was in 1941. He went solo. Like he's one of Hitler's closest advisors, Rudolf Hess. Surprised you guys don't know about him. You should really look into this guy.
We're not Nick.
Yeah. He'd probably know.
I know the name. I really don't know much about his personal life or anything.
So the highlight of his career was, I think, in 1941. When Germany was at war with Britain. I think this was after they had beaten France. That was 1941, I believe. They were at war with Britain and bombing them, and Rudolf Hess was like, we can't fight a war on two fronts. So he was fucking crazy. He thought he could take a plane, fly it to Great Britain, meet the Duke of Hamilton, and negotiate terms of a treaty. So he flies.
Wait, he just flew there?
He went behind Hitler's back. He's one of his most highest top advisors.
This is mid-war. This is peak war.
Yeah, he was the deputy.
This is before the U.S. got involved. This is 1941.
Yeah.
This is
It's still peak war.
Before Pearl Harbor.
He was
Okay.
the deputy Fuhrer. That was the rank he was given. So basically,
But peak war for, Britain at that time, that's still everything's getting conquered.
Yeah.
It's scary, bad time.
Britain's
Very bad time.
basically the only one putting up a fight right now. And so he takes this plane. He somehow manages to avoid all the radar stations in Britain, but he runs out of gas. He can't find where he's supposed to go to meet with this random fucking aristocrat who has no connection to the government. Yeah, it's a crazy fucking story. He abandons his plane, it crashes, and then he is immediately apprehended and arrested, and he spends the rest of his life in prison.
Holy shit!
Until he was the last Nazi in prison from the Nuremberg trials. He was the last one to die, and he died in the 80s.
The last guy to die outside of Argentina.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. You guys really should. Rudolf Hess. Also, if you want to watch the
Cody's face right now, he's like, what the fuck?
No, I was like, I gotta watch more movies, dude.
Dude, I will tell you guys, have you guys heard of, this is the best World War II documentary series I think I've ever watched. It is the most comprehensive. I think it's 26 parts. It was produced in 1972, so this is 27 years after the war ended. And to pique your interest, the tagline, I think the director said to get to what his goal was in producing this documentary series on World War II is, I wanted to interview the people that dropped the bombs and the people they were dropped on. Mm-hmm. So there's interviews from German citizens.
He did both?
Yeah, you get all sides. It's called The World at War. Completely free to watch on
That was the Call of Duty game, right?
I think that's where they got them.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure.
But the docuseries is called The World at War. Anyways, I'm talking a lot.